trying to do things like trying to model using GIS, geographic information systems, or agent-based models, trying to model how people in certain places and environments may respond to changes in climatic conditions. We're growing a bigger body of case studies from which we can draw lessons, and the research is expanding beyond simple migration studies into related and interested fields like gender issues, legal issues, human rights research, and so on. So it's attracting a greater body of scholars, and that's a good thing. What we can't do with the current situation in knowledge is to really make reliable predictions about when, where, and to where these people are going to go. It's good to make sort of ballpark estimates of 200 million by 2050 or whatever, but we're really just sort of making back of the envelope projections on these things. The really big unknown, and this is entirely within human control still, is what will the physical manifestations of anthropogenic climate change be in the coming decades? Are they going to be simple year after year incremental changes in existing climatic conditions and norms, a little bit more drought here, a few more storms there, and so on? Or are we going to expect nonlinear changes? Just complete change in what we've been accustomed to over the last century in terms of global climatic conditions. And quite frankly, there's no reason to favor one over the other. Ecological systems can respond in either way. If it's this one, if it's the incremental changes that occur year after year, this is something I think that is within existing adaptive capacity in many parts of the world, and with sort of a targeted global effort, we can help those who aren't quite prepared yet. We can manage these types of outcomes. But if we get nonlinear changes, quite frankly, you might as well just ignore everything I've said today, because we just don't know what will happen. All bets are off, and it's the great unknown. And this is the real concern that we have to be thinking about as we go ahead. So the challenges and opportunities, particularly for the graduate students and the young researchers who are out there and are thinking about getting into this field, there's a number of opportunities. One is to build socio-ecological approaches to research. That is, to get a good handle on natural science, a good handle on migration scholarship and demographic science, and merge these together into a comprehensive approach to scholarship, to develop a better understanding of how environmental and ecological processes knit and fit into our social, cultural, and economic processes as well. To generate, as best we can, the types of research, forecasts, and policy-ready documents and reports and so on, so that the people who have to sit down and make hard choices in the coming years have the best information we can provide them, and to build an international network of concerned scholars who are ready to do this sort of thing. We also need to look hard at our own country, look at building adaptive capacity here, domestically, and we also have to remember that we have an international obligation as one of the world's wealthiest nations to help other countries ready themselves for this great climate unknown that we're going into. We have to start thinking about a carbon-light economy and what that means. We need to stop sticking climate change and environmental issues in junior portfolios for government ministers. It has to be on the table, on the cabinet table, and a concern for all levels of government, at all levels of cabinet, and so on. And we need to do a better job protecting those who are already being affected, not just by environmental issues, but by the other issues that trigger forced migration as well. So to wrap up my presentation then, are we going to face a coming exodus in coming decades? Well, it depends a lot on, one, what we do in terms of our global greenhouse gas emissions and what sort of impacts climate change will bring in that respect, our willingness to consider how we do things in terms of our economy, on our willingness to build capacity amongst those who are less fortunate than us or less prepared than us, and in short, to start thinking long and hard about how we can build sustainable communities, sustainable prosperity, and sustainable future. So I'm going to leave it there. Merci beaucoup. S'il y a des questions cet après-midi, je peux répondre aux questions dans la table ronde. So thank you very much.